Hey YouTube, how you doing? I'm here with another knife review. It's been a little bit, and first time in a new location. Just moved down to North Carolina, so we're renting an apartment while we house hunt. And so I'm on my back deck on a beautiful day, and figured it'd be a good time. I've been wanting to do this for a while. I have so many knives and different items of gear to review that it's just been weighing on me. So I'm gonna bang a few out today. But the first one I wanted to go over was this one I just got from Russia. You could probably guess that it is Custom Knife Factory. And what we're looking at here is the Garza knife. It comes with a cool little microfiber cloth and this certificate of authenticity here. Okay, number 16 of the first limited run that they did. I pre-ordered this. Got a much better deal. I think it's going for like $3.90 now. I ended up paying like $2.70 for it. Great value at that price, that's for sure. But this is made by Anton Malyshev, which is also the same designer who made us the Sequoia. If you're not familiar with that, that's this guy here, which I'll do a separate review on. Probably a long-winded one on this because it's just phenomenal design, so I'll probably take a little more time on that than this. Not that this isn't exceptional as well, it really is. Really clean, simple design. Just to get into the specs, it's 8.62 inches overall. The blade, which is a full flat grind, is 3.81 inches. The steel is CPM S35 VN, as you can see here. And I really like that. They don't, gaudy it all up. Very sterile, clean look. Simple Custom Knife Factory design here, and nothing on the back of the blade, so that's great. Frame lock design with a steel lock bar insert. Closed length is 5 inches. Okay, you also have the titanium 6AL4V backspacer, handle, and contoured machined clip, which is nice. Weighs in at 5.1 ounces. So you get a lot for that. For 5.1 ounces and at this price, especially if you got it at the initial pre-order price, it's quite exceptional design. You'll have a brushed finish on the flats of the handle here on both sides to expose the natural titanium color. And then you have, I don't know if you can really pick this up, but there's really deep lined from the milling that they did. These almost striations you can see up top here too. And it looks pretty nice actually, and it's all been anodized like a sky blue almost. A little bit darker than that. Very nice. It's a fingerprint magnet, if you haven't noticed. Not on the anodized portion, but on the brushed titanium flat portion. Definitely picks up a lot of fingerprints. But very clean, beautiful look. And you have, as you can see, it's set up for a righty. So you have the thumb stud on the right. You can switch it to the left, and the same goes for the pocket clip. So there's a little indentation right here, which you can unscrew this, pull out a little titanium insert tab there, and just switch the clip on the other side. This says limited run number 16. There's no wiggle or anything on the pocket clip. It's got a perfect amount of tension. It slides in and out of my pocket with one hand, no problem. And just a really, really nice design. It feels really good in the hand. I do have to comment, they put a slight chamfer on the inside of the handle scales, but not one on the side of the handle that your fingers go against. So does it feel sharp and uncomfortable? No, not at all. But it's not as comfortable as it probably would have been if they would have put the same chamfer that they have on the inside here on the outside. No big deal. Really, it's comfortable in hand. Nice sweeping I guess you could call it a drop point. It's almost to me like a modified Warncliffe. Pretty cool. Really like it. Really love the design. The lines on this are just awesome. Centers up really well. I don't know if the lighting or the angle is really catching how perfectly centered that is, but it is perfectly centered. Now, it isn't Loctited. I've, as I do with all my knives, I've handled it quite a bit. And after I flip it, 50, 100, 150 times, something like that, it starts to loosen up and the center starts to go to the right. So I'm going to Loctite it and it won't shift anymore. But it's never gone like really strong right and hit a scale. The tolerances on this are phenomenal. The blade, when it's not fully deployed like this, when you rotate it and you pull, there's no wiggle. So the pivot pin fitment to the actual hole that they put in the pivot of the blade tank is perfect tolerances. So that's pretty cool. And I gotta tell you, this is one of, surprisingly, not that these designers and Custom Knife Factory out of Russia, if you're not familiar, not that they're not putting out phenomenal products with amazing fit, finish, and tolerance, because they are, but I'm just blown away because this is one of the smoothest actions I've ever seen, ever. Or felt, rather. It's just insane. So, check it out, guys. If you like this, you like the looks of it, I think it's worth looking into. It is just so silky smooth. This action it just blows me away. I don't know if they're using a new bearing system or what, but whatever they're doing, it is just there's no resistance, no friction, no nothing. It's just silky smooth. And I've said that before, and it's been true. It's all subjective. There's been a lot of knives that I handle that feel that way, but this one just surpasses them. I can't get over how smooth the action feels, opening and closing. Lockup is perfect, in my opinion. You're at about 30%. This is the test that I always like to do. And I kind of try to force it in, and it goes to about 40-45%, not even, probably 40% lockup, which means if you were to hard use this, it's gonna last, and it's going to be dependable. The lock is not going to shift all the way over. Also, very nice design. They decided to chamfer out some grooves by where you're going to disengage the lock bar, which is always the right thing to do. It's just a lot more comfortable that way, to get your finger in there and disengage the lock bar. Very, very nice. Just for a comparison, because it's not, a small knife. If I could see these smudges off, bear with me. As a comparison, this knife, next to, if you're not familiar with the size yet, next to the Sequoia, which is a very large knife, this Garza is a little bit more stout, a little bit wider, not by much, but it is, and the blade length is a little bit shorter. So, and if we switch the angle from the camera here, you can still see that no matter how you position it, the Garza does look a little bit smaller. So, yeah, a real nice setup there. So, anyway, this is an impressive blade. I think it's a very simple design, nothing too extravagant, but I really like it. And I guess I had one question for everybody. I'd love to get your feedback. I have a problem where, for whatever reason, I feel obligated or motivated to modify almost everything I get, no matter what we're talking about, just so that way it's a little unique, one of a kind, make it mine sort of thing. So I would like to know what you guys think about me anodizing this a different color. And what I'm referring to is just the flat portion of the titanium handle there. There's the blue on the sides already, so I would probably keep that the same color. and I could do something like a bronze or a gold for a little bit more contrast. It might go well with the blue, or I could just leave it the way it looks now, which I think is pretty slick. Just wanted to get some feedback on what you guys thought about that idea, and I could do an update video, part 2 sort of thing, after I modified it, if you guys thought that would be a good idea. If it's just too pretty the way it is now and you're like, don't ruin a good thing, I understand. That's why I'm asking you guys. I'm kind of torn on this one. So anyway, give me your feedback and thoughts. Great knife. It's pretty much an everyday carry / collector's knife, if you ask me. It's got good blade stock. It comes pretty sharp. So I think you're going to be able to put it into a lot of different roles if you wanted to. Very utilitarian blade design as well, so you can actually use this really well. I definitely wouldn't throw it into the tactical role. There's just not a ton of traction on it, but great for a little heavier everyday carry, somewhat larger everyday carry knife option. But yeah, I do have to comment, the blade came sharp, but I was surprised because it felt dull, and the relief edge is so small, and the angle is so it's not a very it's a very wide angle. I'm probably not saying it in proper terms, whether it's acute or whatever, but the angle, like, let me just say it this way: instead of the normal 18-17 degree angle that I put on most, I'm not talking inclusive, but on each side of the blade, it feels more like it's, I don't know, 20, 25, something like that on each side. So it cuts very well, but you have to, come in a little more downward rather than at an angle to really cut with it. So I'll probably reprofile the blade, to be honest with you. But otherwise, it is actually very sharp, and the edge geometry is consistent. So overall, very good product from Custom Knife Factory. As always, I'm very impressed with what they put out. I think most people would be very happy with this offering, although it's really expensive. $390 for this. I think if you're a fan of Custom Knife Factory like I am, and I'm more in it for collecting purposes, I just want to have most of what they do because I'm really impressed with most of what they do, then it's worth it to me. For $390, you can get a lot of other really good things that are competitive. So to each his own. I think most people are going to be really impressed with this, and I do think that $390, in my opinion, is justifiable. But I think it would be more appropriate probably at like $350. You are getting some premium materials, fit and finish. The design is really nice and clean, and there's not going to be a ton of them floating around, most likely, at least not for a long time. So collectability scale, definitely worth it. Fit and finish and design, everything, definitely worth it. It's just there's a lot of other things to choose from that would be comparable. So there's a lot to think about there, in my opinion. There's a lot of other things to look at. So it's really up to you, whatever you're into. If you think this is just gorgeous, you love the design, you just have to have it, you like that it's not going to be in everybody else's pocket, and you're a fan of Custom Knife Factory like I am, then grab one while you can. Anyway, that's all I have for this one. Trying to keep them a little more short and sweet. Thanks for watching. Please like and share and leave a comment if you have any, and thanks again for watching. Take care.